I greet you with great love. Greetings from all over the world, many more, including participants from across the ocean. I'm VAGY. My husband and I are one of the 8 of PPH career-level married couple. Those who have already seen us, right? We used to act together. I would like to say to the old for everyone to calm down. Perez is a lie. I haven't hit him yet. You can only come and go, no. That is why today I represent the VAGY married party. It is a great honor for me that the PPH of its leaders, I can be the host today. We usually hold the trainings together. I hope this is not offensive to anyone. In fact, we all do each other's things regardless of age or gender. My husband and I live in VAGY SZOLGASÁG. We have been together for 13 years and have been dating for 7 years. They are married. I was in the hotel industry before PPH and catering. I worked, but I am already a PPH student. Team is my main activity. In today's training, we have a speaker. We can thank those who not only teach, but shows the way. He is the founder and leader of our organization, Master Craftsman and Happiness Specialist. Our master has been dealing with people for 38 years. He has been leading a self-organized team for 34 years and created it 32 years ago the PPH community, whose teachings have shaped the lives of generations. It's not just time, it's experience, living knowledge, and proven operation. His teachings are not theories, recognitions, and systems that which also work in everyday life. And something else that is especially worth it to pay attention. For what he says about the future. Those who have been following him for a long time know what predicts, it will be realized over time. Our presenter's knowledge, skills, and experiences form a unity that, which is truly unique, not only because of its depth, but also because how you deliver this. Let's see what else is special about our master. He is the only person to whom our organization under his leadership, in 4 different areas, held a market leadership position. Moreover, 2 of them are completely opposite motivation. His teachings are unique, way combines the material and intellectual knowledge for the benefit of the people. As a living man, he is the one who is life and, in human knowledge, as well as in everyday life, it is outstanding today in the transfer of usable knowledge, able to transfer a large amount of knowledge. His teachings are from a direct heavenly source. They arrive in a unique way connected with higher celestial, to source from which draws knowledge and passes it on. Yet they become earthly intelligible form acceptable. He owns one of the most comprehensive knowledge of how the love and happiness-based era, the golden age of which it must be implemented by 2035. Our master's purpose in life is to make people awareness and spiritual development is such, raise it to a level where it is in peace and love and people can live happily. And with that they can become part of for the era of love, the golden age. Please accept with great love and sincerely, Hunter Trade, the founder of a joint stock company and CEO, the Open Academy. Its founder and leader, the PPH's Level 14. Our director, our Master Miklós Szedlacsik Miklós. He greeted me with a lot of love. Everyone. They call Miklós Szedlacsik like the family, Our Lady said. And we talked about it here just now, that they are not satisfied with it. People, but I asked how in the freedom, how is that? Are you free, or maybe? And I asked who it was his boss. Anyone who has a boss is not allowed. And I was there to ask, right? Who bought the pass? Let's say a higher value in 5 years from credit. Put your hands on this. Credit. Greater value. Credit. More of them, right? And I can't buy anything less from credit? And if you want, say, a higher value to buy, then how would you solve it? You wouldn't buy it, would you? And freedom, you think, if anything you want to buy it and you can't buy it? No. Isn't it freedom? Not. What? So why do you do non-freedom? Or is it good that you are not free? So who is it that goes 5 days a week should he work or work at home? So put your hands up, okay? So you feel free? Not? Who is doing what they love? Raise your hand. Nowhere? And who is employed? Yeah. So you love it, but you're an employee. But then you're not free? Because you are an employee. And they tell you that now, then you have to do this. Ask who is an entrepreneur, hands, or business owner. Thanks. And who is such an entrepreneur, your business owner, where you serve clients? So which one are you not free? Because you depend on customers. Not? He thought it through. So, in the past, 80% of people, what is it like a long time ago? Before World War II, 80% of people today consider it entrepreneur. Was, or in today's sense, taken business owner. It means that with animal husbandry, or agriculture, or both, worked or had his own shop, or some of its services. Like, for example, all of me, the two are my grandfather, that's right, it can be interpreted that in this worked in the sphere. One had a schuster store. Therefore he was a shoemaker, therefore his own schuster store. It's not big now, you think. The other is with animal breeding and engaged in agriculture. So one is schuster shopkeeper in Budapest, lived, and the other down in Szabolcs. So someone who was engaged in animal husbandry. So it's 1 and 1 for me, so it was that. My ancestors 100% he was an entrepreneur. And if you look closely, pre-warrior ancestors are probably those 5. So for the most part it is both he was an entrepreneur. Which means it's likely did what their parents did. His parents did what their parents did, they did. And that's how they grew up in that occupation. So literally, if a child grows into it, in the occupation which his parents do and he's been doing it since he was a little kid, then you will probably like it. Because he's been doing it since he was a little kid. Because it has become a habit for him since childhood. And think about it that at some level, the person insists to your habits, right? Now you stick to it what you like, right? Not so much what you hate, you insist, don't you? So if one has grown into a habit, for example into an activity to say a son worked there with his father, he was there since he was a small child, let's say a in the workshop, or the animals were there between, or ran out in the field there. Then it will be natural for him that he does as an adult. And because of that, you won't dislike him. Because he has grown into it, and he won't love. Thus, what the ancients did, they loved it because they grew into it. But this is what I say about World War II. I'm talking about the period before. Now, when do people learn a profession? Usually age 14 after or 18 years of age, after or 24 years old, or after the age of 22, you understand. They start learning a trade. So they didn't grow into the profession. And then you learn the trade. Let's say 70% of people walk if they have learned the profession that it is not located after in that profession, because either you are not looking for it enough in that profession, or not he likes that profession. Or do you prefer something else? These tracks are misleading. That's right, as they say. So practically think it through. Educated for that profession. He says how many years ago? Let's count elementary school as well. They studied for another 3-4 years, didn't they? In good case. If you have a university degree or college degree, even then, or 4 years or 5. And then learn says that 8 and 4 and 5, how much is that? 17 years, right? Roughly. And after 17 years, he gets a job elsewhere. We are in Hungary, for example. Here in Europe has the most graduate taxi drivers. So they graduated, they received their college degree, or the university degree, and after that they went to work as taxi drivers. When I was a child, on the street only one person had a degree. For one in my age group, which means that he was older than her. One such 6-7 years ago, and for him he only had a degree. What happened when he grew up? He became a carrier, freight forwarder, cargo taxi driver. Cargo taxi driver. And I say, he only had a degree. For no one else. For no one else. Okay, so now from my age group, I speak. So, one such we have reached a world where people do what they don't like. Then they have a boss. Now think about it, my Schuster, who is my grandfather's boss? It wasn't. No one. For example, down to my other grandfather in the countryside, who is engaged in breeding and engages in agriculture. Who is its boss? No one. So it was fulfilled for them that it was not boss. They never borrowed anything. Never. They always only bought what they had. They could buy it for cash, and it wasn't there. Their need is greater than what they did not know buy for cash. So they didn't dream of things which they could not buy with cash. Today, the population is a large part about such things, dreams what the cash can't buy it. That's why he takes out loans, and literally more rather he becomes a slave. Because whoever takes out a loan, it can't even do that. Let's say for 2 months be unemployed. So you can't even say that change jobs. Because God forbid, no, the workplace comes together. Change, then what? Pay off the loan? So we ended up in a world where people are quite content with that they are not free at all. And they live their whole lives, including pensioners, that I am not free. Because freedom, let's say, for a retired person, he has no boss. But you can buy whatever you want. So let's say a 20 million car you want to buy. I'm just saying something. Can you buy it for cash? Think it through. Now, if you can't do it, you're not as free. So then you could say, oh well, why should I buy a 20 million car? Well, the 2 million goes where I want the 2 million goes there as well as the 20 million. Yes, they said that the Trabant too, it goes there like the Lada. Why Lada for me? Because the Trabant is also there going. That's what people said. Yes, but think about it now, no matter how incredible what I say, that there is a social classification. It means a hierarchy. At the top of the hierarchy is the world's richest family. This is called the Rothschilds. After that, there are 12 more families in the hierarchy in the following part, which are such as Windsor family, Romanov family, then Kennedy family, then Rockefeller family, Morgan family, etc. Warburg family, Habsburg family. These are one of the 12 families. Then come the likes Clinton family, Bush family. These families. And after that come people like him, they say. They are the richest people in the world. For example, Elon Musk is like that, Bill is like that, Gates, etc. It comes after that. So, that's it, 4 levels already, to wealth and to the social hierarchy. Because I say that for wealth and social hierarchy, because social hierarchy is for money is being built. And it's built on wealth. And it is based on power. So these 3, wealth, power, that is, the 2, the wealth power goes hand in hand. Well now, and then the others come after that, divisions. After that come virtually the dollar billionaires. After that, in the 5th row, a dollar billionaires. Next come the dollar millionaires, who they haven't reached the billion-dollar fortune yet. Dollar millionaires, but it means Hungarian. Say in relation the HUF 370 million asset. If you have $1 million fortune, then it is 370 million. And then after that come those who have more, he has less wealth. Who doesn't have $1 million of property? After that come those who have 1 million and 100. So there was one who had 1 million and $100,000. Then the $100,000 are below. This is the hierarchy. So think about it now, where are you located? Because it's $100,000 and 1 million. But 40 million between dollars, isn't it? And 400 million forints is between property. And those who have, for whom under 40 million, the $100,000 their wealth is under. It's roughly 400 million, isn't it? And then think about where you stand. And the wealth obviously also applies to real estate, applies to other assets. But the Hungarians have, for example, the most of them. The biggest asset is real estate to the majority of Hungarians. The biggest asset is real estate. The other biggest asset is your car. And then the rest of your assets come after that. So we can say that the average, the biggest for people, their property is real estate. It is his second largest asset. Such financial investments, usually tied up in the bank, inside money left inside. And then comes the car, a line. Now the majority of Hungarians, isn't it located there? That under $100,000 and half of the dollar 100,000. Apparently, there are fewer people there, but it is still a significant number, for which another 35-40 million his assets are over HUF. There are far fewer Hungarians who do they have over $1 million in assets. It's over HUF 360 million, isn't it? Their wealth. And even fewer, right? There are those for whom $10 million right above their wealth. It's already 3.6 billion, isn't it? And of course more, there are fewer people who say $100 million his fortune is over. And even fewer people who have $1 billion his assets are over $100,000. There are two people in Hungary, Széchenyi and Mészáros. Two people together. Well, think about it, and that's how it is, hierarchy. And then let's see, what do you think? Now that you don't want such a good way to be. And you're right. Because you see, they are all very rich, they walk with bodyguards. And not only the very rich, but also the dollar billionaires too. It's even more likely that the dollar is 100 billionaires too. They're not 100 million, they're $100 million. So there are. Now I don't know if you know how long I've been do I deal with people. 1987. Since I started organizing people, does that mean create a team? 1991. And in 1991 I was already taught why that kind of business is good, an activity that I have been doing ever since. Continuously since 1991. Why is it good? Because one can be free or not from the body. So it doesn't cost. In Hungarian, in the man we say, the first 5 or 6 hierarchies does not enter the level. For what? What kind of person do we call billions? Even in HUF. But what do you want to buy? Do you? That's 1 billion forints. For what? They call it a snob. For what? So the one who wants to buy it for $1 billion, they left home in a car. Really?
Egy olyan világban, érted, ahol az emberiség 2/3 komoly, tehát a létminimum alatt él, érted?
So in such a world, spread the money where 2/3 of humanity he lives below the subsistence minimum.
Jó? És tehát
And so what do I know? Think about it throughout, who has their own property.
hogy kinek van saját tulajdonos.
Your apartment or house, raise your hand, own property, okay?
Oké, annyi is fölteszem. Oké.
Who doesn't have it yet? Well, it's usually young people, isn't it? They put it up, but not only the young people.
Jó, szóval
of those who posted it, their hands are not there.
Hogy nincs saját tulajdon.
Own property, is your property the one you want?
Az szeretne. Ki az, aki szeretne azok közül? Oké. Mindenki. Jó.
Okay, everyone. Now how was it with the others?
A többieknél hogy volt? Kérdezem.
Who inherited your property?
Mondjuk az ingatlanját.
Quite a few are surprising. Who did you take a loan on your property?
Ki az, aki hitelre vette az ingatlanját?
Not many. Good.
Jó. Oké? Na most gondold azt végig, hogy
Think about what they are the things in your life that so.
amit úgy szeretném megcsinálni,
You want to do that it serves to your future.
hát gondold végig, mik azok a dolgok,
Think about what they are the things you want.
megszerezni, megcsinálni,
To get, to do, achieve, fulfill.
teljesíteni,
It doesn't matter what I say serve your future.
hogy az szolgálja a jövődet.
I say this because serves your future.
Szolgálja a jövődet,
Because I don't think so ever they ask you the question.
neked a kérdést.
If you don't have PPH. If you don't have PPH yet. Because it sure is they could do it, or have you heard of it?
Föltehették, vagy hallottál ilyenről.
What do you want?
Mi az, amit szeretnél?
And then you would start writing what it is. What do you want?
Szeretnél?
And then you start writing what it is. What do you want?
Szeretnél?
And maybe in an hour you write down, let's say at least 60.
Legalább 60.
Something, let's say an average of 1 per minute. What do you want?
Hogy mi az, amit szeretnél?
And then afterwards we would do a and which one serves your future.
Szolgálja a jövődet,
And which does not serve your future, we pull it out. And maybe not 1 out of 60 would remain neither.
mert azok a dolgok, ami például úgy szolgálja,
Because those things that, for example, serves you that thereby less,
azáltal kevesebb,
you will have wealth, then it does not serve your future.
akkor ez nem szolgálja a jövőt. Érted?
It belongs to the property, right? Everything that is real estate, and chattels, and to wealth the money is due.
A pénz. Jó?
And of course your clothes and your fortune, your heaven. And they belong to your property, technical things too.
Ki dolgok is.
But that's chattel, isn't it?
Jó, tehát gondold végig, hogy
So think about it for people, they have a purpose with which, if that
amivel, hogyha azt a
satisfy a goal, then you will have no more money, but less.
nem több pénze lesz, hanem kevesebb.
So he won't have more wealth, but less. And it's a joke.
És ez egy röhely.
So that means financial unintelligence.
Pénzügyi unintelligencia. Érted?
Because financially the intelligent who is something
Aki, ha valamit tesz,
does, then it serves his wealth.
vagyonosodását szolgálja. Érted?
And then I learned this later.
Ezt már később tanultam,
This was around the turn of the millennium I learned.
idején tanultam. Oké? Akkor.
But it is for at least 25 years.
Érted? És azóta
And since then I started to live like that my life with my family.
hogy
That if we want something then it serves our future.
szeretnénk, akkor az a jövőnket szolgálja. Érted?
If we want something, buy it, make it.
Megcsinálni,
To create, it serves our future.
szolgálja. Érted?
And if something doesn't serve our future, such as carrying money
Hogy pénzt viszel a ház,
from home, then we don't do this.
akkor ezt nem csináljuk. Érted?
Just something that makes money.
Értitek?
And if it doesn't make money, it turns out later that
Kiderül utólag, hogy nem
not bring money, then I will get rid of it.
attól én megszabadulok.
Now, that's a whole different thinking, like the average human. But think about it, those people who are not ordinary people. Say $100,000. Under and under $1 million people. You know what's wrong. The problem is that there are 100 people who started life together, which means they did it together high school. And then they looked at them 40 years later, what happened to them? 40 years from now, 15 of them died. So 15 did not live. Two became financially independent. Out of 100. A Latvian is financially rich. Out of 100. Of all the others, 5 continue to work even after 40 years. And all the rest that's left, add these numbers together, all of them. And the rest that remained exposed. And that's what you want to do with your life. That you will get there in your life, when you leave work as you are. You have to keep working to make a living or you will be vulnerable. And that's because you don't think that there will be a future. I was already taught this in 1991. In 1991, how many years ago did you calculate? 35 years ago. Now they have achieved that people are great. Part of you think as you think. They achieved it. So to live month to month. That means there are a couple of things in which you plan something in advance. 1 or 2. And by the way, from 1 month on you live for another. Maybe you can put it aside. Even then, you live from 1 month to the next. It means that you earn from what you are looking for. Why should you earn from what you earn? And it's so good for you to make a living. What are you looking for? Well, I read one at the time book. It's been 20-25 years. Which was called Poor Papa Rich Dad. By Robert Kiyosaki. And then he wrote what I verified. I saw it in your book, in my life. Verified that I saw that start your life. To learn not work for money. And what did you suggest for that? He suggested. He became a rich man by his own power. I'm just saying, okay, this is the person. And he wrote that he did the same. He learned not to work for money. And what did he do? For example, he did business with printers. So, that means he was a salesman. It was not in a business, it was in a company sold printers. So he was a businessman first in life, partly after school. And every businessman is forced to learn the not work for money. Why? Because business people work like that. They work in the beginning without expertise, and say 29 of the business deals succeed. And maybe the 21st will be successful, which means he worked 20 times.
Idézőjelben
It's free.
ingyen.
What? He worked for the experience. But he worked for free.
Érted?
And even after that, most of the salespeople,
És az üzletkötők nagy része
the best deal makers in the world, out of 3 they make a deal.
3-ból 1 üzletkötést csinálnak.
So they don't do business with 2 people.
Személlyel nem kötnek üzletet.
So the world's best deal makers, out of 3 they make a deal.
1 üzletkötést csinálnak.
Average salespeople are about that 1 in 7.
Azok körülbelül 7-ből 1. Érted?
So in 7 deals, which means that they work 6 times for free.
Ingyen dolgoznak. Érted?
Now, they learned to work for free.
Ingyen dolgozni.
Why?
Miért?
Because money doesn't frustrate him,
Hogy a pénz az ne frusztrálja.
and the lack of money, and that don't be frustrated by ineffectiveness.
Eredménytelenség az ne frusztrálja. Érted?
Because, by the way, these 3 make people frustrates him. Now, let's look further. Kiyosaki was introduced to networking, so MV called them to train him.
Úgy, hogy az MV hívta őt oktatni. Jó?
Roberto Kiyosaki, who called the book. That's what he met.
Megismerkedett.
He didn't do it, but he met. And what does the MV do? Right, sells products in networking.
Értékesít hálózatépítésben. Jó?
In networking, network marketing, NLM.
Velem. Jó?
This made Kiyosaki aware of this and wrote then a book for MLMers.
Az MLM-eseknek.
Or not for MLMers he wrote, but he wrote about ML loans.
MLM-esekről írta. És azt írta, hogy a világ egyik
I saw proof again, because when I read
Mert amikor
your first book, then I started by making deals. Long before that. Then when I read this next his book, in which he wrote that the
Amiben azt írta, hogy a hálózatépítés,
networking is the only thing where an average person can be free.
ahol egy átlag ember szabad lehet. Érted?
You can learn to work for free, and free it can be. Because he who goes with bodyguards is not free.
Aki testőrökkel jár. Érted? Az nem szabad.
Now, none of the big network builders works bodyguard.
Egy se jár testőrre. Egy se.
They're not even billionaires, they're dollar billionaires. Let's just say tens of millions of dollars.
Dollár 10 milliósok. Érted?
So they're millionaires. 10 million washes.
Érted?
Now, the biggest network builders are world.
Legnagyobb hálózatépítők a világban. És
Now think through the greatest under network builders, you know how much.
hálózatépítők alatt, tudod, hogy mennyi?
Do you have a distributor? 1, 2, 3 million people.
Érted?
That means 1, 2, 3 million gets income per person.
Kap jövedelmet.
Now think about it, if everyone is human after, let's say, you would only get $1. Then he calculated how much? Every month.
Havonta.
Every month. Of course, they did not achieve this in 1 year result, but they achieved that in say 5-10 years achieved. In 5-10 years.
És
And why am I saying this now?
azért, mert a világon, akik az
Because those in the world who are over 50 years, most people became well off the A,
legtöbbek lettek jómódúak, az a
became wealthy in the field of networking.
jómódú. Érted?
Not from IT, not from this, no from that, not from that, but from networking. He can be well off. And it's free. In a world for the last 50 years. That means hundreds of thousands, millions have become affluent in networking. And ethically. Well, yes, but let's see how much ethically. When I met with networking, I was an average person. And since then I've made my own, haven't I? Networking company. I started back in 93, so in 91, in 93. Because I realized that it has to be done because it is not enough. Network building companies are ethical, that I have met so far. So really. Since 1993, we have achieved 4 market leadership positions with networking. Thor. Nobody made the world like this. No one. I'm the only one, okay. Who with the network building company are 4. Different became world first in the field. So it's a market leader. With one only for 6 months, with the other for 6 years, with the third for 6 years. And in this for a long time now we are market leaders. And do you know why this was achieved? To achieve 4 types of market leading positions, with networking in 4 different areas. Because they were ethical services we provided. Because it's all a service. And they were good value for money. Now we are dealing with such a thing. Where our service is unmatched is this totally unique in the world. We pay 80% of the service. We pay 80% of the price of the service. For those with networking they deal with. What is networking? It's very simple. A man is simply what he is in. If he likes it, he tells others about it. If you don't like it, don't talk. It is optional. Let's see what we have services. Here are 10 areas. We provide knowledge for this. Moreover, we provide it for a reason. We never did it for the money. But why? Because if in these areas one is not happy, not in any area you are happy, it affects everyone. Negatively. What do I know? You're starting to have problems with the authorities to be. Believe me, it will be a relationship your problem too. Etc. Financial too, everything else. You will have trouble with any of your partners, affects others. Of course, it could be the authorities now, because you won't have such a case. But if you have problems with your partner, then you won't treat your parents like. Neither with your children nor with others, etc. So these areas work like that there will be financial problems. Most families with financial problems arises, after which there is an argument at home. Have you experienced it? So think it through. Any area can be a problem to be, at some level which area. For you then it exists, it affects you. Of course, it doesn't exist as far as I know. Your parents are dead, then it doesn't matter. Dead or not dead as far as I know, you don't have children. Then it doesn't affect them either. You live alone in an apartment, not with people you're chatting, it doesn't affect that. But anything you work on is an effect practically. So here are 10 areas, we extend to them training. Not for 1, not for 2, not for all 10. 26 topics. 26 big topics, which we all teach.
Összes tanítjuk. Jó?
30 hours a month,
Egy hónap.
every Wednesday and every Sunday.
És
And we do this in a way that is not a month a topic.
hogy nem egy hónap egy téma.
It's been a long time. This topic, where we are now, we just started this.
Ahol most tartunk, ezt most kezdtük.
I remember the 21st very well. Well, on the 21st, and now we will finish. Today,
Ma. Így van, és
and next month starts on Wednesday. The end is always before 20 and it is 20 after is the start.
Után van a kezdés.
So it's the 20th then.
Jó, tehát
So the training is 30 hours.
és
And we do things like that there are such.
hogy van
Training courses, for example, the previous one was 6 months. Coach training was the goal achiever. The courses are in rotation, so which means that you can connect anytime, anywhere.
bármikor, bárhova becsatlakozhat,
Because sooner or later it will come that training in the cycle.
körforgásban lévő képzés.
Yes, but we think the whole time. I looked.
Gondoljuk, megnéztem.
We started in 19. We started in February 19. This cycle. It's his 7th year. And we're barely over halfway there. And then what do I know? There is one most important, let's say ethics is the first topic. When will it be your turn? The courses are defined as that you can watch the trainings live.
Nézheted élőben,
You can watch it on tape, but that's what he's talking about, housewife.
jó?
But it doesn't say that you can buy it also retroactively.
Tehát visszamenőleg is
Whatever you like and you can buy it.
neked, és megveheted.
You can buy it for the regular monthly tuition fee. And you have access to a past one also for training if there is enough time to use training courses.
Na most,
Okay, we've got what we're doing.
állunk. Az
Our
a
service is that we provide training.
szolgáltatásunk, hogy képzéseket nyújtunk.
But why?
Nem ért?
Well, he has the strongest motivation in the world thing we do it for.
Legerősebb motivációjú dolog, amiért csináljuk.
Because
Ugyanis
if we don't do that, people won't they become aware.
akkor az emberek nem tudatosodnak. Érted?
Because people don't become aware of themselves.
Tudatosodnak.
Awareness requires several things.
Dolog kell. Egy,
People need to learn.
hogy az emberek tanuljanak.
They need to study regularly.
Rendszeresen tanuljanak.
They need to learn in the long run.
Hosszú távon tanuljanak. Oké?
In addition, it is necessary to be in a team, let them learn.
Tanuljanak,
Meet each other in Hungarian who are studying.
akik tanulnak.
And then it will be that the individual is able to develop.
Arra, hogy fejlődjön.
And any of this is left out, that person stops in development.
Illetve megáll a fejlődésben. Érted?
And you won't be able to refute that anyway, because I experienced this.
Tapasztalom ezt.
Since I've been teaching people since 93.
93 óta. Jó? Maradjunk ennyiben.
And believe me, there are hundreds of thousands we took it as a life enhancer.
Embernek vittünk el életjobbító
Service and tens of thousands of people I have already taught.
tanítottam már. Jó?
We can say that it already is I taught around 100,000 people.
Körül tanítottam embert. Érted? Szóval,
This means that this is how we teach it people.
hogy így tanítjuk az embereket. És ráadásul
Moreover, those who come here to study, everyone without exception,
nélkül, ha akarja,
if you want, you can fulfill it the mission for which he was born here.
amiért ide született. Érted?
Your mission is not to eat, that's how it goes, raise the child. Go here and there in the world, try to enjoy life.
Próbáld élvezni az életet,
And then you will die sometime in your life.
majd valamikor az életedben.
This is not what you were born to do. Everyone has a specific mission for which he was born here in this body.
Amiért ide született, ebbe a testbe,
In the family you're in, what you were born into.
beleszülettél. Érted?
For everyone. And that's whatever unbelievable must be a coincidence that it is included in your date of birth.
Dátumodban.
Well, sew a button on it. Must be a coincidence. So then it must not have been an organized thing, but you were born that way.
Csak úgy megszülettél
How can it be in your date of birth?
dátumodban,
What is your mission?
és rá
And besides, before you came down to earth, as soul, not as man, as
lélek, nem mint ember, mint
super intelligent being, energy being, super intelligent energy being,
szuperintelligens energia lény.
you knew exactly what you were getting into.
Érted?
And you were born on the day when you were born because you agreed to it.
Amikor megszülettél, mert azt vállaltad,
And you took on related energies in.
energiákat vállaltad be.
You hired your parents to give that name into your name.
Hogy azt a nevet adják, és a nevethez
Related energies, what you got from your parents.
amit kaptál a szüleitől. Oké, ha már
If your name has changed since then,
megváltozott a nevet,
because let's say you got married, then that.
akkor azt
You agreed to take his name apply.
ő nevét fogod alkalmazni.
You agreed to that before you were born. And then it must be a coincidence.
Oké?
So your whole life it was about what you
Szólt, hogy
you agreed before you came down as a soul.
lejöttél, mint lélek. És
And do you know when you came down as a soul? Then it must be a coincidence. At the moment of your conception. How did they know when you would bet?
mikor fogsz fogadni?
People don't know when you will to receive.
Hogy mikor fogsz fogadni?
What did you know? Up there.
Érted?
Before you came down. And then it must be a coincidence.
Biztos véletlen.
So there is such fantastic knowledge in the behind that you were born.
Mögött, hogy te megszülettél,
And there is such a fantastic technique behind that you were born.
te megszülettél, érted?
What you can't even imagine.
Érted?
And then there is none.
Nincs ilyen.
Because we are in the process of evolution. Such nonsense. And is it all a coincidence? Why, I just said.
Szóval,
And think about it. You have a mission and you have a task.
és van egy feladatod.
It also includes birth in your date that.
Hogy milyen
In which task would you feel? How are you feeling?
jól magadat.
Oh, it's in there.
Van benne.
And if you don't do that task, which is included in your date of birth,
Születési dátumodban benne van
as a task,
feladat,
then don't be surprised that you are not feeling well.
jól magadat.
And two things are necessary for a person to be well feel in your skin.
Bőrében.
Just two.
Mindössze.
What?
Egy.
To perform the task that is in your date of birth.
Benne van a születési dátumában.
To move towards what is your mission.
Afelé haladjon, ami a küldetése.
Do you know what the mission is? That is your purpose in life.
Célod.
That's the mission. Your purpose in life. What you do not define in this thinking, yes.
Ebben a gondolkodásban határozod meg.
You did not define it with this consciousness.
Határoztad meg,
But why did you come down before that?
lejöttél. Érted?
When your instinct didn't influence your consciousness.
Nem befolyásolta a tudatodat.
Because the moment he entered the soul into your body, it means
Bekerült a testedbe a lélek, az azt jelenti,
when you took your first breath.
első levegőt vetted. Oké?
That's why the baby has to cry. When you took your first breath, then the soul entered, and from then on
Akkor bekerült a lélek, és onnantól kezdve
the functioning of your soul is affected by your body and the part of your body,
a tested, és a testednek azon része,
which is called instinct. And from then on, how does it affect you?
befolyásolja az ösztön.
stimulate your soul and the workings of your soul.
és a lelked működését,
Therefore, you cannot think without instinct.
ösztön nélkül gondolkodni. Érted?
Because you have to learn to be human, think without instinct.
Az ember ösztön nélkül gondolkodjon.
And where will you learn this, that you think without instinct?
Hogy te ösztön nélkül gondolkodj.
Outside of us. Or maybe if he teaches in a different way, organization. Because an organization can teach. And think about it, for how much?
Hogy nagyon mennyiért. Mondjuk lehet, hogy óránként annyiért, mint itt fizetsz mondjuk 1 óráért. Nem, fordítva. Fordítva, igen.
So that for an hour there, what you pay a month.
Amit fizetsz egy hónapot. Na,
Yes?
igen.
Something is wrong.
Jó?
So here you pay a monthly tuition. You pay that much for an hour there.
Érted?
And then let's see why we do it.
Csináljuk.
If people don't fulfill their mission,
A küldetésüket,
they don't deliver what they're for, they came down to the planet.
a bolygóra. És
And if they don't comply what they came down for, to the planet, then they are stuck here in reincarnation.
világos?
And if you're stuck here in reincarnation, that's not why you came down to Earth, but
Hanem azért,
to experience what is wrong, because you came from a place where there is no evil.
jöttél, ahol nincs rossz. Világos?
And that's why you came down for 4 minutes.
4 percre.
Because your life, the 80 years are there.
Év, az az ottani életed
Compared to the content of your life, I calculated 4 minutes.
perc, kiszámoltam.
Of course, you came down for 4 minutes. So think about it. You're more than that. There's a billion-year-old soul.
Lélek van.
And then calculate how to several billion, even, compared to a billion 80 years, is what percentage.
Az hány százalék?
And then you can calculate how many it is minute of your life.
Az hány perc az életedből?
Thor. By the way, I calculated 1.5 billion on average. Well, 4 minutes.
4 perc. Ha több, akkor annyi se. Így van.
There are those who are 1 minute. 1 minute is 4 for them, his 80 years.
80 év, érted?
1 minute. Why didn't you come down? And you can't go back until your mission is complete.
Nem teljesíted be.
You can't go back until then. And that means you are born again. Again, you are born, you are born again, you are born again. And it's getting harder and harder to do. Why?
Teljesíted miért? Mert
Because as many times a man is born again,
ember,
the more you don't feel where he came from.
hogy honnan jött.
That something is wrong, that I don't belong here.
Nincs itt a helyem.
This is not my world.
Világom. Érted?
So when you feel that we say you are surrounded by idiots, you feel it.
Vagy körülvéve, azt érzed, érted?
You feel it because you haven't been there surrounded by fools.
Kell körülvéve. Érted?
And when someone is already the 6th, 8th, 10th, whatever life fills, then that space is already natural, that he is surrounded by fools. Then it's no longer strange that he is with idiots surrounded by.
Kell van körülvéve. Érted? Na most,
Now you know what the situation is. People do not fulfill their mission, eh?
küldetésüket, a
With our help, those who arrange to be born here, etc.
akik intézték, hogy ide szülessünk, stb. Az
The whole cycle, the cycle of the earth, including managing the circulation of humanity.
intézik,
They pull us down the toilet.
a WC-n. Értitek?
And then we go like the previous 6 humanity who did not fulfill
Akik nem teljesítették a
their mission, and that's why it was on the planet, to simply societies,
az a bolygón, hogy egyszerűen társadalmakat
chosen because they achieved that,
elérték azt,
be selected and lifted off the ground.
és kiemelték.
For example, they were like this, the Nazca are like that. The Incas were like that, there were the Aztecs, etc.
Ilyen voltak az aztékok, stb. Akik
not those who disappeared from the planet without
a bolygóról.
a trace, something that took them because of illness.
Vitte el őket betegség, meg
Because there's no grave, nothing but simple. They disappeared and did not merge, but one. They disappeared from the next moment. So think about it. The great Inca Aztec cities were there all along.
városok.
A depopulated one from moment to moment.
Érted?
They didn't migrate. Emigrating cannot be like that.
Lehetően gyorsan.
They caught it quickly out. They were taken away.
Jó?
The previous 6 were the same in the case of humanity. Which ones
Hogy akiket meg akartak
they wanted to save, they chose was taken away.
elvitték. Érted?
They poured it on the rest. Let's say the ocean is the flood.
Az óceánt. A vízözönt. Érted?
They are destroyed, and the situation is that it should have been done by 2012.
Tehát, hogy 2012-vel már meg kellett volna csinálni a világban.
End of the world for him, and you know why not did they do it?
Miért nem csinálták meg? Miattunk.
It was because of us that I was in front of him. I already accepted that.
Hogy
We do that, people fulfill their mission.
teljesítsék a küldetésüket. Érted?
Obviously not alone, I was already there. My team is not that big as it is now.
Most van. Jó? Hanem ennek a töredéke volt, de
It was a fraction of that, but they accepted it. This was before 2012, wasn't it?
tehát itt van egy
Here we have a mission that unique must save humanity.
ami páratlan. Meg kell menteni az emberiséget szó szerint.
Literally, and the earth. That's the situation.
Az a helyzet, hogy az emberiség
That the earth would die with humanity.
Érted?
Because if this keeps going the way it's going, so what's going on now?
Akkor mi megy most?
Well, the planet is constantly shrinking vibration. In a place where there is high vibration, creatures are all around us.
Lények vannak mindenütt körülöttünk, érted?
And here is a planet whose continuously humanity,
Pontosan az emberiség
due to its decreasing vibration, the vibration of the planet decreases. So you know what this is like? It's like when they start moving in the lumpen elements to the big cities.
beköltözni a nagyvárosokba a lumpen elemek.
And then they move out from there, the normal ones.
Vagy kiköltöznek onnan a normális,
Or they evict the
vagy
lumpens.
kiköltöztetik a lumpeneket. Érted?
And today the population of the earth is that lumpen category.
Lumpen kategória.
Obviously not everyone, it's not about that word. They let the planet remain for a specified period of time.
Meghatározott ideig.
Because there are many good people, there is only one problem, that good people day by day. They live month to month or year to year,
Élnek.
and they have no mission.
Semmi küldetésük.
I say, nothing.
Semmi.
They have no mission. They have no idea that they have a mission.
Nincs, hogy küldetésük lenne.
Maybe in your childhood did you feel it,
Hogy van, de
but he grinded it out as an adult, the consumer society.
fogyasztói társadalom. Érted?
Literally.
Szerint.
Think it through. So here is a place where anew we are creating an era,
Új korszakot hozunk létre.
spoken by our hostess, the beloved age,
A szeretetkort. Érted? Ahol az
where
emberek
people learn in love, cooperate unconditionally.
tanulnak szeretetben, feltétel nélkül együttműködni. Jó? És
And by then we will reach the beloved age if they can work together in love.
már együtt tudnak működni szeretetben.
Unconditional cooperation is one next step.
Az egy következő lépés. Jó? És ahhoz,
And for that, throughout these development steps, you have to go through the stairs. So don't get stuck here. Hungary, after all, proved that 70% of the population proved that the individual lives on a spiritual level. Those who have been vaccinated themselves, that's all, prove that is at the level of survival.
túlélés szintjén van.
And that was 70% of the population.
Érted?
And it's a disaster. And you should get up in the golden age 6.
Az aranykorba a hatos
So the beloved age is the 6th spiritual level. And the 7th spiritual level in the golden age, you can do it.
Az aranykorba tudod megcsinálni.
Because there will be no oppressors in the golden age. In the beloved age. So you should get up to the 6th spiritual level. And that alone, there is no one to do it. To reach the 6th spiritual level, that's why they were able to leave the planet. But who, for example, entered a monastery? No one could do it alone. They entered a monastery, and then there they have developed to that community, and free from external influences, without oppression. So as long as there are oppressors, until the 6th mission level, so to the 6th spiritual level for the mission you can get there. And then comes the 7th. Okay, so an amazing thing we do. We save souls, that's why people and thus the planet. But take it literally. You know, the thing is, our hosts, they used to say that especially. Listen to what our master says regarding the future. And it's not for nothing that they say, because what with the future? I said so far about whatever happened. And don't let that happen to us, they blow up the planet. And before that you have to save them, who deserve it. Don't let it happen. This planet is beautiful. It will be great to live in the golden age. And then you can choose to come back. Or you go back to where you came from. Most of us talk about Sirius, right? He came from the Pleiades. But there are people from other places too. And you can go back and forth to go where you care. You had to come down, I'll say it again. Because there is no such thing as bad. There is no such thing. There is no such thing as oppression. And man came down to experience the difference between good and bad. But that's the only way you can experience the good and the between bad if you live the bad. If you only live good, then you have no idea what is the difference between good and bad. And that's why it should come down to one experience, is it? Now, those 4 purse. That's not much. Of course, those 80 years are not 4 minutes it seems. But compared to the above, you spent 4 minutes in comparison. On average. So, in one big act, we are in a mighty act. We save people. And through knowledge we save. But not only through knowledge, the community also through. We do all of this as who we are. They study here. They can organize students. Even if you organize, say, 30 people in X time. But that means you're telling someone I like it, it comes, I don't like it doesn't come. Out that 30 people all the time. There is no definition of how long. And you won't have 30 people, but let's say 600. You organize 30 people, and let's say you will have a team of 600 people, which is constantly growing, from which it will become thousands or tens of thousands. Think about what I know here. How many people are under you? 10 or so thousand people, Ness? So about 10,000 people. Think it's true? And how many did you have to bring? Sorry. And they have 30 of their own people, and 10 or so under 1,000 people. Well, think about it. Here you have a place, or you don't have one. If you don't belong here, I'll tell you right now, their landlady talks about it. We look forward to seeing you if this is your place you see. I will return the floor to our hostess. Thank you very much for your attention. I love you guys. Oh. Thank you very much for these extremely valuable and interesting thoughts from our master. Me 11 years ago, the only best of my life. I made a decision because I came here to study. I didn't make good decisions before, I've had them since then, but this is the best of my life. It was his decision because when I started studying here, so much so I say my life was a mess. Not because of others, though I still had them then. Such thoughts that others are guilty of this too. The point is, isn't it, as I mentioned, I worked in the hotel industry, here in Austria. That's exactly what the master is doing now, he said in the lecture. I smiled too. Into myself, wasn't it originally I have a degree in economics, but I'm like that too. I'm lost, I was wrong all the way abroad, because well, I realized that this is the only way I can make money earn with an economics degree. Well, I looked, didn't I, elsewhere, who and how much he pays, because so do I thought as an employee. And then yes, out there abroad, how much do they pay? I'll go then. Hi mom. And he had to go home, didn't he? I'll come because I'm outside. I worked for quite a few years, but then as a slave. I earned well, but I was a slave. And my mother got sick, metastatic cancer became, so I moved home. Right, what there, a little reserve. I got it together, that was enough for a while. But unfortunately the story ended sadly, because he died. And I was left with my disabled brother and my demented father. You can't go to work from us, so forget it from now on that you will be looking for a job at home. And then you will work at home. It's cut off from there. And then he came exactly at that time, also my dear husband, with whom our relationship that he moved more, like a stork, because we couldn't deal with each other that well. So that if we look the 10 areas of life, I had a problem with my partner, very much so. With my parents too, because with my father, right, was also difficult. So the one who cares for a person, that's why they're nodding here. That is not an easy task. Dealing with two such people, it is not an easy task. Well, it was difficult to treat them well there as well. I don't have children, at least not I have a problem. With others? Well, everyone was stupid. Well, not just me. I didn't have a job then, because I can't go away. I don't even have the money if I can't go to work, right? But my environment wasn't that big yet. Authorities? Oh, no, I was able to pay the loan. I had 2 loans. I ran out of money, I couldn't pay the credit. Then from then on it became stronger my communication with the executor. Because right then, they were interested towards me strongly. Not only cares. By God, I believe into the existence of a superior being. But why are you doing this to me now? It wasn't good my relationship because no, I understood why I get at this lot of shit. If you love me because it is my God, or why are you doing this to me? And that's where I started, and then came the pull. And there they saved my life. But literally, because I wouldn't have it any other way, my choice. It is true that I was that I want to get out of this. I don't want to get stuck in this. I want to get out of this. But I don't know how. And then my director, Barthatusek Janos, he found Miklós Szedlacsik. And he told me, just look, I found a very smart man. I think it's worth a look. I looked. Really? After the first show, that was next. My question is how you can watch the training. Tuition must be paid. How much? This was after Christmas. I don't think anyone has any after Christmas money. That was all my money. But I paid the tuition because I thought it would happen. And it really did. And since then I started studying here, right? Christmas didn't want to be with me at first to come. He asked for another year. But he saw that I was treating him differently. It's the first thing I suddenly knew to change. That was my relationship. Because this is where I got the knowledge to how to deal with the man. I learned a lot in this area. I learned some very surprising things on this square. And that was the result. Not only with cares, we were together for a month. Then for 2 months, now 3. He hasn't moved in half a year. He has been here for a year now. Well, then what is practically normal, we live in a relationship, no? Then there was a bigger one, right? Our crush. We told the master that we have had enough of each other. We talked to the master for 2 hours. Cares asked for my hand, I said yes. We have lived happily ever since. And I was very glad that it was this type of system. Because I had no other option to get money. So I couldn't go to work. But I sympathized with MLM. Because I'm great at it, I saw an opportunity for development. I saw how much a salesperson capes fejlődni. To become a good businessman. My floor is even better because it is passive income is associated. And that's how I got money, I got a relationship, I got a job. I got a job that it turned out to be me. What kind of work should I do to make me feel good? I can do just that here. So, I feel good about it. This just got a lot better, my relationship with my creator. Also because I understood why what happened. That's how I was able to accept it. My mother's death too. Before that, I read a lot, I was dealing with a spiritual thing. But still, when he got into such a situation, bro, I couldn't fix this myself. I got help here. It just happened. Then I solved it with the authorities, my problem. And it was very well done. And I can also thank the master because I followed his advice word for word. And that's how we managed to solve it. So, I started from here 11 years ago. But if you don't have such problems yet, as I had them, no problem. Don't come here to study, they will. And not only me, but others too, who study persistently. Everyone here reports getting better, his life changed. And I see this in others too. Because I know there are no coincidences. I knew this a long time ago. And I believe in my own creator, don't I? That's why I accepted it, the opportunity that I saw that it was I can fix everything here. And that's how I got to PPH. If I were you, I would go against the will of my creator. Because he always wants the best for you. You just don't notice. There was, so I wouldn't delay. I would start now. As I just started 11 years ago away. When the first time I saw it, for me right away. After the first performance, that was my first question. How can you study here? What else am I waiting for? There's nothing to wait for. Especially not in today's world. Time is getting faster and faster. Everything is getting worse. What are you really waiting for to get better? It won't be. It doesn't get any better. And here's the point. Tuition is $250,000 per month you will receive. HUF can be used in everyday life, people, and life improvement training. What you know in all areas of your life to use. Every Wednesday and Sunday evening every month, we have an average of 30 hours of training, which you can use on our website live, TV via the internet, or on the radio, where you can participate in person here in the office on site, or arranged by the leaders' locations. You can also watch it from a recording, or you can listen to our trainings. What's more, you can download the sound and feel for yourself. If you now use our coach training, now on sale for 1 million HUF for 4 months, you can receive training worth only 59,000 for HUF. The current discount is enhanced, the 5. You can study for only HUF 14,000 per month from our master every month. Plus, it's for our events with your participation. You are also part of the PPH community. You can be enriched with our support. You can create your own team. And you can put your knowledge into practice. Also, your ever-growing team with the creation of an ever-increasing passive. You get income and free life from PPH. Try it for 4 months knowledge, now only 59,000 per HUF. Nothing you can lose, in fact, you can only win. If you liked it, our human and life improvement program, your personal involvement once now, you can check it out after the break to our next coach training. After the break, we will have communication training, which, if you wish to participate, we look forward to seeing you. If you think you are not interested in our offer, then we are happy to have your participation. You honored us, and then we will say goodbye to you. Now there is a 40-minute break.